What is going on, all you lovely people? I absolutely love how the music didn't play during that intro. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares? We're all here to have a good time. So while I'm waiting for people to get in, just if you're watching this as a review or if you're watching it as an upload and it's not live, this is really just going to be me talking with all of the people who love talking about everything, Trek or whatever we want to talk about, because this is our show. This is what we like to do. And hey, if you're new to the show, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, all of that great stuff. And if you absolutely love me, you can check me out at patreon.com/lore reloaded. But for right now, let's just wait for a couple more people to get in. 19 Sephiroth 81, how are you doing, sir? Hope you are living the dream, as it were. Hope everything is going well for you. Let me know if there's any audio issues or anything like that. I love the alternate universes and sci-fi shows. I do too. We're actually going to be talking about not just the Terran Empire and alternate universes overall, but there's also some theories going on that the second season 2 of Discovery is going to be the Terran Empire is going to be the bad guy. I'm fine now. I wasn't fine before, because that was scary. What's going on, Spiffy Lord? Spiffy Lord saying, I don't get Darth Vader's position in Star Trek. Where does he fit in? Well, he fits in all of it. He's actually what ties everything together. Greetings, 14 Kalium. Hope you are doing well. All right, so let's Gerald Ford, Captain Jellicoe did nothing wrong. Captain Jellicoe was absolutely right. Ended up basically would have been the hero if anyone had listened to him. So before we get in just to breaking down the Terran Empire, is it going to be season 2 for Discovery? Anything Trek that you guys want to get into, I'm open to talking about just about anything. Star Trek Online, Discovery, Terran Empire, alternate universes, what's going on springtime. But I have had an ungodly amount of people who have approached me, either saying that they'd like to see my response or directly linking me to Computing Forever's several different videos that he has done on Star Trek Discovery. I did a poll on the community tab. By the way, you guys need to hit the little gear icon to make sure you get updates, and you'll even get updates when I talk on the community tab. The community tab on YouTube is like Facebook, so if I do something on the community tab, it's like I uploaded something. I used to do like 10 posts a day, but people hated that, so I keep it to 3, but sometimes I'll do polls or who do you think's better, and I let you know when the stuff is coming out. So if you never know when my videos are coming out, check out the community tab, because usually I give updates there. But anyway, I took a look at, I did a poll, who would want me to do a response to Dave Cullen, give my thoughts on it. And when I watched his videos, I've been watching Computing Forever actually for a lot longer than that, but I don't really see a lot that I can respond to, and I don't think his channel really impacts mine, and I still don't get how people try to put those two things together. Because a lot of people will say, well, look at his videos, you shouldn't include Discovery in canon, but, Computing Forever doesn't get to decide what's canon. I don't get to decide what's canon. I hate the fact that the Vulcans attacked the Klingons the second time they ever interacted with them. I don't like it. I don't get to choose if that's canon or not. And all of his stuff is, again, more political and not really relating to what I'm doing. So I decided that I won't be doing any responses to him. That's not a negative on Dave Cullen Computing Forever, nor do I agree nor disagree with his actual comments. It's just I don't see any value for this channel. I will respond if I see value in the channel. If he did something I thought may show value. But I just, again, it's like apples and oranges. I don't see any specific thing there to respond to. It'd be like him doing a video response to my stuff. My stuff has nothing to do with what he does. So that's my opinion on it. If that changes or there's a video or, something of that nature, then maybe. But till then, not that you guys care, because taking a look at what we're talking about, let's see. Captain Jesse 1 says, could the Blade Runners and the Trial Wallace replicants and the David and Bishop android by Wayland Yutani fit into the Star Trek Prime timeline and Star Trek Mirror Universe. With as much as faithful as they've been to the canon, I can absolutely see them bringing those two in. I can honestly absolutely see them bringing those in. Captain Jesse 1, Ben Sisko was the Starfleet officer who won the Dominion War. What's going on, Michael Birdwell? Sisko did absolutely win the Dominion War. I, in fact, will be doing a video regarding the In the Pale Moonlight as a defense for what he did. Because I think that, the interesting thing, I think Deep Space Nine, while we're on that, destroyed the Mirror Universe. I would have loved to seen the Terran Empire continue on. Even, I wouldn't mind the Terran Empire not becoming the good guys, but I would love to seen them continue to be the good guys. Maybe Spock made them the good guys and then they turn back to their bad guy roots, because I would love to see a Federation that's set in Deep Space Nine, but is the Terran Empire, so the evil Federation. I'd love to see the Terran Empire had they not been destroyed. But yeah, I think that what I love about Deep Space Nine is that it took Gene Roddenberry's vision and it made it as realistic as it could be. And it's not realistic for it to be 100%, but I think they tried to live up to it as much as they can. Bad Wolf Gamer says DS9 killed the Empire too soon, so much potential? Yeah, I could see that. How would Starfleet deal with the alien Prometheus, alien xenomorphs? Now, that'd be an interesting. So, the xenomorphs, the aliens, infest Starfleet. Well, I think phasers would probably be an issue. Anything can take out the xenomorphs. But the thing about the ships, all the ships have nothing but, Jeffries tubes and things. That would be excellent for an alien when you think about it. That would be absolutely nightmarish. We should lorecraft that. That'd be interesting to put together. Just pick a crew like Deep Space Nine crew or the Enterprise crew, Enterprise D or E crew, and pit them against aliens, because the alien, especially in Deep Space Nine, because Deep Space Nine has several parts that can't be scanned. That'd be horrifically fun to do. I think ultimately they'd probably tech their way out of it, but the alien would probably kill quite a few people before they did. Do you think Stamets has been replaced with his mirror twin, or do you think it's something weirder? I don't think he's been replaced right now. I think that it is... What's going on, Rick Van Boberson? I don't think Stamets has been replaced yet at all. I think he might have been impacted. Maybe he'll start acting differently, but I just think he's either out of phase or his other mirror self is aware of him now. But I don't think he's been replaced by any stretch. Nothing in the episodes have given me reason to believe that, and it just doesn't seem like that's something they do right now. How about the Borg versus the Xenomorphs? The Borg would just get completely destroyed. Completely. The Xenomorph's blood is acid. Nanites can't do a lot against acid, so just completely, utterly destroyed. There is a comic book about the Mirror Universe called Broken Mirror. There are several books. I read a book. I forget the name of it. I was a teenager when I read it. The Enterprise D crew versus their Mirror Universe counterparts, which you had Barclay, who was one of the just top guys in that. I thought it was hilarious. Barclay had this old entourage and was very, very well protected, and was someone to be feared in the Mirror Universe. I thought that was excellent, especially for the time period, because this was still when Barclay was was still shy, still hard to talk to people. Stamets is certainly now an augment. Definitely. Totes augment. Nailed it. 10 out of 10. Versus videos sound interesting. Perhaps something like post-Time War Daleks parting the ways versus post-Dominion War Alpha Quadrant. I generally don't like doing stuff like that because I don't like mixing tech. And I already get so much crap about the like Dominion versus Borg because everyone thinks that most people think the Borg are God and can magic their way out of stuff, and that other people think that I didn't do justice with the Dominion. I mean, every time I throw stuff like that together, I can only imagine Doctor Who fans getting mad because I messed up something on Doctor Who, and then obviously the Trek fans. I mean, I might do it, but it just seems like it'd be way off. What happened to Wayland and Yutani Core is the in the Star Trek? What happened to Wayland and Yutani Core in the Star Trek universe? They didn't exist in the universe, buddy. So what would happen if we had Wayland and Yutani? I mean, really, I don't know. I'd bet they'd be Ferengi, though. If I had to guess, I would say that they would be absolutely the Ferengi if you had Wayland and Yutani. But so let's sit here and talk about fandoms will always be toxic. Yes, fandoms will always be toxic in some ways. I completely agree with that. So alternate universe, Terran Empire. Well, let's go Terran Empire. I would love for season 2 to be Terran Empire. And I think that would AJ Zulu in the house. What is going on, sir? Hey, we're just hanging out today. So, sit back and enjoy yourself. But, I would love for the Terran Empire to be season 2. The thing that scares or worries me is I think they're going to be done with this Klingon war plot very shortly. Within the next 3 or 4 episodes. I've been given some reason to believe that that's not going to be staying around as a staple. And so the Klingon war has really been a background piece with no impact. The war doesn't really impact anything to me. It's this thing that happens off in the background. It's more show, don't tell, or it's more tell, don't show when it comes to that. And so my concern is that if they do the Terran Empire, are they going to do the same thing with that? It's going to be more a tell, don't show type deal. And if they're going to do that, I would really want to see more. I would want to explore the Terran Empire during this time, especially since it is more advanced than the Federation of the time. I think that would be very interesting to me. And Rick Van Boberson said, yes, they said prior to the show airs, each season is going to be a new arc, and Michael Sue. I love that this channel has created Michael Sue. I think that's awesome. There was a game based in the Mirror Universe. I actually played that game. Sulu was the captain. It was a Starfighter game. Not the best game in the world, but it was interesting to see how they worked with it. But yeah, so if they did the Terran Empire the way they're doing the Klingon War, I'm not interested. But I would love it if they did it right, where we explore it. Maybe Michael Sue has to pretend to be her evil counterpart. And here's an interesting thing. So Michael Burnham, she is transported to the Terran Empire, and everybody is the evil ones. And she knows that her counterpart is in the Prime universe. And not only does she need to get out of this other universe that is just horrific, but she's worried because she knows that her counterpart is probably doing all kinds of horrific things in the Prime universe. How interesting would that be? I mean, if you're not going to do Ensemble, then do a story like that. That would be interesting. What if the Terran Empire ship enters into the Prime Star Trek universe? Then I think it would be a good... What's going on, Mason Herman? I think that'd be interesting. I don't know what they could do with that plot. If the Terran Empire ship enters into the Star... Yeah, I just added that. By the way, if people hate the fact that I say Trek when I say Star Trek. It's just a way that I've always said it. It's how I've grown up. I'm trying to change to Trek, the right way to say it. But can I just say, I was listening to Computing Forever. I went and listened to Jeff Holiday because Computing Forever referenced Jeff Holiday. Both of them say track. Okay, so if you're watching this and you don't like that I call it Star Trek, eat it. Everybody else does. Everybody else who has a YouTube channel, there isn't one YouTube channel that hasn't said Trek before. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Getting off my soapbox. Captain Jesse 1 says, are the Terran Empire Starfleet ship command codes the same as the Star Trek Prime command codes? I would have no, what I know what it is. They're the exact opposite. Because that's how the mirror universe works. So if it's Alpha, Alpha, Omega, Sin, then it's Sin, Omega, Alpha, Alpha. Exact opposite. Exact opposite. If we achieve true space travel, would it be like Starfleet or Terran? If we were able to achieve faster than light warp, I honestly believe that it would probably be more like Aliens versus Predators, or it would be more like it would probably be a mix between Terran Empire and Starfleet, because Starfleet just is not attainable with humans as we are right now. We have a long way to go if we were to get what Star Trek thinks that they are. I have a feeling that they are going to stick to canon, and this Mirror episode is going to be from inside the Mirror universe as it was done in Enterprise, so continuity isn't broken for a change. There's going to be multiple episodes. Now, here's one thing they have said, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in Season 2 or when it's going to be, but there will be multiple episodes, more than one. What I was reading made me believe they're going to do at least 3 to 4, which is why I think they may actually just do a complete season. So there's going to be more than one, for sure. And what do the end scenes in Episode 5 and Episode 6 mean? Also, could there be other alternate universes in Star Trek besides the Mirror? There are an infinite amount of alternate universes in the Star Trek universe, and this is based off of a TNG episode that was Worf specific. I forget the name of it, but it's actually the episode I built my the first episode, the episode that went viral, that got this channel to where it is today, was my alternate universe Borg, and it all started based on one episode, which was, I forget the name of it, but it's TNG, and Worf was jumping between all of the alternate universes, and there was an alternate universe where the Borg had destroyed the Federation, and you got to see Riker, who was the captain in the Enterprise, was just beat to hell. Parallels. And it was kind of interesting because the ship was so weak that they hit the one of the Enterprises, attacked the Enterprise that had come that was nothing but Borg, and he hit it with like just a low level, just wouldn't even ping shields, and completely destroyed it because it was just so epically gone. Complete Mirror Universe season, that's risky. Didn't they want to do a Year from Hell season instead of a 2-part episode, but the network scrapped it? Trevor Ford, my understanding of the Year in Hell was not the network, but Berman, which is one of the reasons why I cannot stand Rick Berman. Can I say the Year from Hell, if they took the 2-parter and had made Voyager, that would have been excellent. They were building up to it. Previous seasons were referencing it. Several episodes referenced what was going to happen in the future, and they just completely scrapped it. And it was unfortunate, because I think the Year of Hell as a season would have been excellent. That was Rick Berman, to my understanding. That wasn't the network. And, if they're going to do the Year of Hell, but they're going to do it in Season 2, and it's going to be like the Year of Hell, but just with the Terran Empire, then they need to do it. They're already trying new things, right? Here's my thing. Here's why when people say, well, they're going to play it safe in Discovery, they're not playing it safe. Nothing about Discovery is playing it safe. That's one thing I'll give Discovery. Discovery is going out there. They're saying, hey, we're going to be more open about the agenda, both talking about it behind the scenes and just in your face. It's not going to be an ensemble. It's going to be based on one person. It's not going to be villain of the week every Trek has been villain of the week. It's not going to be villain of the week. It's going to be serialized. It's going to be Game of Thrones. They're already taking chances. Just go for it. You know, just have some fun with it. Just you know, first time someone in Star Trek said, yeah, that's right. First time someone said the F word. So if they're going to do it, just do it. I mean, they're already taking chances. The androids in JJ Verse are they're robots of some sort of replicants. Man, you guys are stuck on this replicants thing, aren't you? I haven't even seen that movie. I've heard that the movie is way, way too long. Heard it's visually beautiful, but it just goes on forever and ever and ever. So, who said it? Someone was giving Rick Berman some accolades. Maybe it was Computing Forever, because I watched him today. And I'll say this. Rick Berman, most of his ideas hurt the franchise. And usually when he didn't get his way, the franchise did well. Like the Dominion War didn't get his way on that. And they were let loose, and that really, really did well. Season 3 and 4, Berman had to just let go of a lot of stuff. But I'll say this. Berman did care about it, and he wanted to keep it to his mentor Roddenberry's vision. Now, that was a bad thing. He shouldn't have been doing that. But I do think that Berman really cared and really wanted Trek to be the best it could be. And I think he cared. And I would agree, and this was Computing Forever that said this, I would agree that the people who do it right now are probably not lovers, but people who do this for a living. Unpopular opinion, I don't know if he was a part of it, but for the movies, I loved Insurrection, my favorite, actually. So you can just see your way out, sir. We're done here. But yeah, no. I mean, if you liked it, that's fine. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. Insurrection it had a lot of contradictions, in my opinion. A lot of things that didn't make sense. I mean, the Sona was really interesting to a degree, but I mean, I didn't like all that. But hey, you can like whoever you want. That's the thing about this. Everybody should have their opinion. Everybody should be able to do and talk about what they want to talk about. So Berman cared, but was more interested in playing it safe, sticking to formula, and keeping the network happy. I agree. I don't even know that I think that he was keeping the network happy. I think that he was trying to keep Gene Roddenberry's ideals alive, and I don't think Gene Roddenberry's ideals were something that viewers wanted to see. Into late TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, they don't sell. People don't watch it if that's what you're going to do. I would like to see the director of Blade Runner 2049 work help to make Star Trek Discovery for Season 2. Fantastic, Captain Jesse 1. I guess I'm going to have to see it so I can get all of this love that you apparently have for the show. I wish we could see the Gorn play a big role. I never really... I got into the Next Generation probably Season 1, maybe the end of Season 2, but I never really got much more into it than that, So the Gorn never played a huge role in everything I watched, so it wasn't the biggest deal to me, So, I mean, a lot of people like the Gorn, but it wasn't huge for me. The whole plot of Insurrection... the whole plot of Insurrection went against everything in the Prime Directive. So here's an interesting thing. There was somebody, I forget who did it, who put Picard... So there was an episode in The Next Generation where, and it was dealing with the Maquis, I believe, they were moving border colonies, and it was this whole big Wesley thing, that Wesley was leaving the show, and this is how he's going to go, because he was apparently going to become a traveler or a god or some stupid. They're getting rid of him, and that's all that really mattered on that. And they were getting ready to move all of these settlers, and everything Picard says in that, and everything Worf says in that, completely contradicts everything in Insurrection. They put the two people right. They put him in that episode, and they put him in Insurrection, and literally it was Picard arguing with Picard. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Have you ever, Rough Collie's Rocks, have you ever wanted to write a Star Trek novel? I know I have. I don't. I like talking about lore. I like crafting lore, what if. Have I ever wanted to write a novel or a short story? No, not specific to any fan fiction. I've written my own works, but nothing specific to fan fiction itself. The Akasaurus says, I love reptilian races, but Star Trek has been bad with making them almost always cliche monster villain types. Yeah, so they every series, regardless, has always given aliens a hat. And so, like, the Klingons are the warrior hat, so the Romulans are the sneaky hat. So, yeah, I mean, they do a lot. So I can see where if it's a reptilian race or any race where they have to buy makeup, they're going to give them a hat because they need to instantly buy you in, because they're not going to be doing this from episode to episode because that costs money. So I could definitely see that. Michael Pillar's book, Fade In, The Writing of Star Trek Insurrection, is worth a read. I will look into that. At this point, I'd like to write for a more friendly universe than Star Trek, because CBS and Paramount... I don't think if you wrote fan fiction, CBS and Paramount are going to do much, unless you started trying to sell your book or something. I can understand not wanting to, though. There are a lot of good sci-fi friendly universes, or friendly entities that would love for you to write for their universes. So, I mean, yeah, it only hurts CBS. The more CBS and Paramount do this silly stuff, the more it hurts them. I know that one of the reasons I don't focus as much on Trek, the reason why you only get 2 or 3 days out of the 5, well, because I want to do other lore, but I also will very gladly do other fiction a lot faster than I'll do Trek, just because it's so much easier. Just pick any other science fiction, and they work with me 10 times more than what CBS does. Unholy Mole in the house, what you doing, sir? Or madam? I'm assuming sir. Imagine if Starfleet met another race that looked human and had a federation similar to theirs. Do you mean like the Dominion? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that'd be interesting. The Terran Empire is what we were talking about. If they met the Terran Empire, that would be kind of a crazy thing. Garrett Wong was at my local Comic-Con and was really awesome and let me hang out with him and chat. I have always heard great things about Garrett Wong. I don't know. So Garrett Wong is, he played in Voyager. And apparently he just wasn't liked. There was some things about Garrett Wong that people didn't like about him, and I don't understand, because I've watched him at Comic-Cons. I haven't ever talked to him, but every time I hear about him, the dude is just nice and charismatic, and I don't understand what would have happened. He played Ensign Harry Kim. I don't know how he got on the bad side of those at CBS and Paramount, but he did. He did, and he did in a big way, because they did not like him at all. I'd like to see a standalone Star Trek movie like Rogue One, except for Star Trek. It would be interesting and refreshing. Year of Hell, but in the Mirror Universe. What would a Year of Hell in the Mirror Universe look like? Because everything's hellacious there anyway. So, I mean, would it be like a year where they just, nothing happens? Like, it's like, wow, this is pleasant. Actually, it wouldn't go that way. Year of Hell, it's either bad or worse in the Year of Hell. So it's bad. It would probably be much, much worse. It'd probably be like the what is it? The ISS Voyager, that episode. How about bringing in Garrett Wang in Star Trek Discovery? That'd be interesting. I don't think they'd do it, but it would be the Year of Heaven. Yeah, the Year of Hell is actually the Year of Heaven. Oh man. So an interesting thing. We were talking about. We were talking about Enterprise. And Voyager. I think Enterprise did Voyager better than Voyager, especially there in the Xindi arc towards the end after Zadi Prime. And I noticed this every time I watch it, I get more respect for it because they stay and they keep the continuity because the ship slowly gets beat up and they don't magically fix it. It just continues to get beat up, and they have to work with what they got. I think that was brilliant writing. One of the things Enterprise did right. I wish Voyager had done that. What do you think of fanfic like Star Trek Continues or of God and Men? I don't watch a lot of fan fiction, if I'm being honest, especially Star Trek. I watch a lot of Star Wars fanfics, believe it or not. I haven't seen a lot of Continues, and I haven't seen God and Men at all. The ones I have watched is I've watched Prelude to Axanar, which I just think is absolutely excellent. And then I watched the one I really enjoyed as well. And it's horrific that I'm drawing blanks on things today. Of course, that's not unusual for me, I guess. It had oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. So the one that I watched several of their episodes, and they went from being tracked to their own independent, and because after CBS did its thing, they stopped being in the Trek universe. But it was about a female captain, and I think she was in prison, maybe, and Tuvok and one of the actors from the original series recruited her and her band of misfits to go and stop this big, huge end of the world type thing that occurred. And I remember the engineer was actually a hologram. And man, I wish I could think of the name of it, because there was this big thing where the engineer gives his life and you're renegades. There we go. See, this is why I have you guys around. I liked Renegades. I might even do some lore on Renegades. I'll do lore on fan fiction. That'll probably happen in January if I'm going to do it. But Renegades, I thought, did it really well. And I really enjoyed Renegades. I love Prelude to Axanar, keeping all of the lawsuit out of it. I really hope, and I don't think they're going to do it, but I hope that the 2 15-minute episodes they do are basically just the mockumentary, just a continuation of the mockumentary. I think the mockumentary was excellent. I want to see the mockumentary. I could never understand why Earth would send just one ship to go out and find the Xindi. I think that was the only ship they had available at the time, or the only ship that was really powerful enough. I know they did have more than that, but that was the only deep space ship that they could do. The Xindi arc, and I get that they needed to have more than one. I don't know why the Vulcans and the others didn't send more with them, but that was all the United Earth had available. Are some Star Trek novels canon? If someone made one set after The Next Generation with new characters and a new ship, would they publish it? I just gave this video a like to spread the love for your channel. Rough Collies rock. You rock. Definitely. If you guys haven't liked this and you're talking to me, what is going on? Like it. I want to see like 100 likes. But so Trek, like anything else, it is rare that you have canon not set up like this. But Trek it's like A canon, B canon, C canon, D canon, and things like that. And you see that in, Star Wars has changed, but before Star Wars was bought out by Disney, Star Wars did that too. And books are as low on the canon totem pole as you can get. Any book created ever. It is rare to find books that even are semi-canonical, and I don't know that there's a book that is completely canonical in the Trek universe. Gene Roddenberry hated books, and I think that's because he couldn't control the message with it. And ever since that, all books printed have either been semi-canonical or not canonical at all. And that has just been something that's held since the creation. Well, Enterprise was the only ship that was able to. Yeah, that was my point. So the Akasaur says, referring back to the Enterprise when we were talking about the Xindi arc, I assume, okay, but they could have used some support ships like montage of the Mirrorverse of the Terran Empire. I was like, F yeah, humans kicking arse. Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the reasons they didn't is money. You know, they're not going to pay to have all these crews and things, and plus they have to add it and this, that, and the other. But that would have been interesting to see, but I can buy that the Enterprise, the NX-01 Enterprise, was the only one that could make the trip. Have you noticed that most of the admirals in Starfleet are evil? What if they are actually from the Mirror Universe? Well, I just think that they're either evil or inept, and I think really it's a requirement to be inept. It's the only way I could explain how Janeway became admiral is due to ineptitude. Beyond that, I can't. Have you seen Star Trek Phoenix? That sounds familiar. Is that the one? Is that the fan fiction with the bad green screen? I think that's the one. I mean, there's a couple with bad green screen, but does Star Trek Phoenix have bad green screen? Because I've seen a couple, and I really do enjoy bad green screen for a fan fiction. Doesn't bug me all that much, honestly. For someone who has the operation that I do, I can completely understand the issues you go through. The fan fictions I've seen, I've liked. I don't think there's one I've seen that I didn't like. But I haven't watched a lot either. So my problem with Enterprise is Archer. He's way too impulsive and just tells everyone. He's way too impulsive and just tells everyone what he wants because he's the captain. I never liked his character. I didn't like his character because I think he committed genocide. And I think that he made a lot of horrific decisions that didn't make sense. But I like the actor, and Archer as a character I like. I just don't think he made a lot of sense. I subbed a while ago, but followed on Twitter now. Awesome. Why are you... If you're sitting here watching this, you guys need to... First, you need to be on my Twitter. You need to be liking my stuff. You need to be watching. You need to be commenting. You need to become independently wealthy and being a Patreon. If that, you need to be a sponsor. I mean, come on, people. Definitely check out twitter.com/Lord Reloaded. I talk there every day. Sometimes I'll rant about some people who comment on my channel that makes no sense. I talk about Trek. I talk about all kinds of lore. So definitely go there and like me on Twitter and all that good stuff. Trevor Ford, like when he took that one ship's warp drive and left them stranded, he's the worst. So let me say this. I liked that episode because that episode, he made a decision that he had guilt about. I think he'll always have guilt about. And he seemed very human, and it was something that was realistic that he could go through. Unlike when he decided, just because Phlox said so, to not give the cure to a race of aliens and save their lives. He killed millions because he thought that it was the right thing to not give the medicine on the most flimsiest of evidence. One thing I hate about Trek is they don't understand how evolution works. Every episode that deals with evolution has absolutely no understanding of how the science works at all. And they explain it horrifically, and they try to defend it. And since they don't know what they're talking about, they make evolution look like the most stupid idea anybody could have. Rough Collies Rock, I'm writing a book right now currently. It's my first novel ever. It's called The Last Child of Earth. It's about the last human and the human race. Don't want to spoil a lot. Currently on chapter 14. Brother, when you get done, let me know. I'll be happy to buy a copy and read it. I think that'd be really fun. So definitely let me know when it's done. What was your opinion of how Enterprise ended? Personally, I think it was completely unlike Trip to be willing to sacrifice himself that quickly. I think that it was absolutely in Trip's character to give his life for Archer. They were best friends. I think that he would have done that 100%. Now, I think season 4 ending Trip was smarter than what they let him do. Now, Trip has done a lot of stupid stuff and made a lot of stupid claims, and I hate. One of the things that get me really upset is Southern stereotypes, because in my country it is really, really easy and really okay to make fun of Southern people because the Southern people's ancestors did a lot of bad things. So you can make fun of Southerners all you want, and Trip is a Southern stereotype that really pisses me off when it comes to that. Just because I get triggered easy when it comes to that. Yeah, triggered, blah, blah, blah. I don't even like the word triggered, but people understand what it means. Anyway, but into season 3, season 4, there was a lot of character growth with Trip. I think he would give his life, but I don't think he'd be stupid enough to do it just then. I don't think that felt rushed. I think that he would have been able to think his way out of it. And per books, he actually joined Section 31. Not canon, but he joined Section 31. So he didn't die, according to the books themselves. I really like William Frakes, but he should never have done that last episode of Enterprise. Legit, he was Riker with 60 extra pounds and slightly bald. I met Riker. I met Frakes. He came to Wizard World, a Comic-Con. Really nice guy. Love talking to him. I tried to talk him into doing an intro, so I had another channel. And I wanted him to do an intro as Riker, but he couldn't. But he was a nice guy. I got to talk to him. I think Frakes is really top notch. Why did Star Trek Enterprise missed out on going into season 5 in full blown war with the Romulans? Because seasons 1 and 2 were probably the worst seasons on the face of the planet, and killed the franchise. And season 3 and season 4 were too little too late. Michael Burnham is actually female, as far as I know. There's been no confirmation, anything else to believe. I have no reason to believe that she's not female. And if she was male, I honestly would not care. Does not impact or change it at all for me. The anti-trekker would probably not be a fan and would get very upset about it. I honestly don't care. I have not cared what the gender is of any of the people that I have watched. Because it does not necessarily impact the performance nor the character itself, unless the episode was dedicated to that. Yeah, Frakes is awesome. I met Frakes too. He was a great guy. He took time to talk to everyone. Really impressive, caring. Yeah, I love it when. So here's my thing. So from what I can tell, Jason. Well, I'm not going to say that. From what I can tell, a lot of actors, especially from Discovery, but TNG, DS9, can be very jerks. But it's awesome when you find an actor or actress who is just an awesome person in real life too. Another thing I didn't like about the ending for Enterprise was how they pretty much spoiled the ending for you. I didn't like that it was a holodeck. I think that I couldn't stand it. The fact that it was a holodeck was just horrific. You know, Trevor Ford, I've met Shatner as well. I met Shatner 2 or 3 years ago. Let me say this: my specific and anti-trekker actually got a signature from him, autograph. Actually got an autograph, and he'll fight you if you say Shatner's a bad person because of how well Shatner was. Shatner was nice to me when I talked to him, but I've heard he is a jerk. I have heard that. I like when Spock nerve pinched a horse. You're going to have to tell me what episode that is, because after I get off of this, immediately I am going to go and see him nerve pinch a horse, because I have not seen that episode, nor have I ever heard of that. And I think that would be excellent to watch. By the way, guys, if you're watching, don't forget you can always become a Patreon at patreon.com/lore reloaded. Check me out on Twitter. I'm surprised how many of you guys aren't on Twitter with me. Twitter.com/reloaded. That's a free service to you, and we get to hang out and talk. I talk every day on twitter.com/lore reloaded. Or you can always be a sponsor. That's always fun. Shatner is a bad person. Look, maybe. I've heard a lot of bad things about Shatner. My personal interaction or conversation with him has been positive. That's all I can talk about. I've watched Star Trek 5. I don't remember that, but now I'm going to have to go and see Star Trek 6. I've watched all of them. I've watched every Star Trek movie except the most recent JJ verse one. Lore, what do you think about Shatner's Star Trek books? I don't think I've read them. I'm almost completely positive I've never read any books written by Shatner. Given the one movie he did with Trek, I don't think I want to watch, or I don't want to read. He does not write Trek well at all, in the slightest. I don't believe I've ever read the Mirror Universe novels Glass Empires or Obsidian Alliance. Oh, yeah. Oh, autographs from Shatner are expensive. Yes. Oh, dude. I think it was like $100 or something like that. Again, the anti-tracker got it, not me. But it was like stupid. And a picture with him was like $50. A picture. Not him signing it. Just standing next to him and both of you signing. Or both of you just smiling. It was stupid. Stupid. Unholy Mole says, I had a Trek sci-fi stream the other day. Too bad you couldn't have been there. LOL. I don't think I'm subscribed to you, Unholy Mole. So I need to get subscribed to you so that I can see that. If I can show up, I will. You'd be, guys, you'd be surprised how much of my day it takes to do this. It literally takes hours upon hours to do the videos that I do in research and in putting it all together. So I don't have a lot of time. If I'm lucky, I get to play like one round of player on PUBG a day, and maybe I get to do one or two quests in Star Trek Online. But beyond that, I'm either with my family, or I'm making videos, or I'm here with you guys. Laura, what is your standpoint on Discovery? Right now, I am still meh on it. When I first watched it, I wasn't impressed. As I've been going through it, I've been gone from not impressed to not caring. They're slowly turning me around, but they still got a long way to go. I wouldn't be so season 2's coming, but if season 2 wasn't coming, I wouldn't be upset. I'm new here. Is that Will Wheaton? Yes, Jerry Carter. I am, in fact, Will Wheaton. I am a fatter Will Wheaton and a much more less activist Will Wheaton. But yes, I am Will Wheaton, and it is nice to see you. I remember at one Comic-Con, Frakes had a massive lineup for autographs and Shatner had none. The prices probably had something to do with. I'm really surprised. I have never been to a Comic-Con where Shatner did not have the longest line and was not the A-lister. Let's see. We don't have info on the start of the Romulan War, only that it happened and we never saw what it looked like, supposedly. Trek has a tendency to retcon First Contact. So, Honer 10, yeah, in my series, so I knew this somewhat, because I've always been a big fan of lore and mythos and backstory. So I knew this somewhat, but when I put the lore series together, I go back and I research what I can. I try to, anything I put on there, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I haven't cut corners, not meaning to, but, just that I'm human and I make mistakes. I try to independently verify facts within 3 different sources and from the actual episodes. I have watched reruns of so many episodes since I started this, and I am really surprised at how much lore is just glossed over in things. You would be so surprised what they skipped over and didn't expect you to look like, especially when it comes to the races, the Cardassians, Romulans. Klingons are pretty fleshed out. Dominion, you'd be so surprised at the things glossed over for the Gamma Quadrant with the Dominion. Could be a Canada Comic-Con thing. We know him too well, him being a Canuck and all. It's possible. I mean, I can only speak to what I've done. Captain Jesse 1, still talking about Blade Runner. How long have I been doing this? I've been doing this for a total of going on 48 minutes. Captain Jesse 1 has been there the whole time, which I love you for, but still talking about Blade Runner. Blade Runner movies have more color than Star Trek TMP, and especially Blade Runner 2049. I actually love watching Trek the Motion Picture because what I'll do is I'll start it and I'll go get my oil changed. I'll buy groceries for the day. I'll go pick up my kids. I'll come back and the same scene is still there. So it's just, I love it when I can get up and walk away for like 3 hours and literally nothing happens on the screen. Daniel Hoffman, I have to tell you, I don't have the power to be mad at Discovery anymore. Only the Klingons make me angry. Maybe that's their whole goal. They do so much wrong that it gets you so angry that you let it all go. Let's see. You guys are talking a lot, which is awesome. I just can't keep up. It's not your fault they don't stick to their own canon. Warp speed is pretty bad. I agree. I suspect Patrick Stewart is amazing and instantly brings dignity to anything he does. I really like Patrick Stewart. I especially like his advocacy, especially since he's really big on abuse, and he's done a lot to help those who are getting spousal abuse. He's done a lot for that. Some of his most recent stuff that he's done, I think he's gotten a little too political for my needs. I would still love to meet him. I would love to shake his hand and get an autograph and get a picture. He'd be one of the few that I'd pay $50 to just have him stand next to me and a picture taken. But he's gotten a little more political than I prefer. But again, I think he's excellent. Funny thing, if you haven't watched it, you guys should watch the Captain's Roundtable when they bring the captains together. Their old series, but it was cool. And he was talking about how when he first started, he was giving hell to the whole cast. What would happen is he would pull the whole cast in, and this is season 1 of The Next Generation, so not the best, and talking about how they have to be there for all of the other crew and that the actors have to give their 100% and we can't joke and we have to be completely serious. And it was just, and it's just, can you imagine like Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart sitting there just getting onto you like this British guy just going off on you. CBS and Paramount counting all opinions about Disco, even the hard-hitting negative broken canon points of view. Is CBS Paramount counting all? I don't know. Maybe they have a drinking game to it. It's like, hey, let's break as much canon as we can and then have a drink every time somebody points it out. You can't enter nebulas with spore drive. Nebulas have antifungal properties. I did not know that. I am not surprised that Patrick Stewart would support the EU based on recent things that he's said. That seems like something he would absolutely be in favor of. Will we see Romulans in Discovery? Would Enterprise Season 5 break the visual communication thing Spock said in The Balance of Terror? I don't think we're going to see Romulans. I don't think they're going to bring them up at all. No reason to. And they already seem to have everything gauged out for what they want to do. We know what's going to happen with... we know what's going to happen at least for most of this arc. And then I really would be surprised. I don't think they're going to bring Romulans into it. I just don't. Yeah, I've had enough Vulcan mind kung fu for this season. I'm surprised how many people got upset at me when it made no sense to me that Michael could beat Sarek in his own mind with kung fu. I really, it's interesting how defensive people get over Discovery. It's silly in a way, honestly. And the funny thing is that I love Star Trek. I really do. Star Trek and Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica are probably my top 3 right now. I've always been a major Star Wars fan. I've really liked and loved Trek too. And one of the reasons I'm so hard on Discovery is because I love Trek. And, to be fair, when people say, oh, it's something new, you'd be just as hard on The Next Generation if it first came out, or Deep Space Nine when it first came out. That may be true. And maybe in retrospect, I will be much kinder to Discovery than I am right now. But it doesn't take away my criticisms, and it doesn't mean I hate it. I really love the series. I love this. I'm completely supported by viewers like you. And the reason that I do this is because I love lore. I think Trek can show us who we are, our humanity. They can give us the background. I know you guys have heard it before, but and it's almost cliche now, but doing stuff like this is not going to get you rich. You're going to survive. I used to work for a telecommunications company as an analyst and make a lot of money. I could go back and do that and make much more than I ever would doing this. But I think the reason I do a lore channel and the reason I love discussing it is because I think stories like these and lore define us and show us who we are as humans. And that's why I love doing this. That's why I love looking at things. Even Discovery, there are things I can see in Discovery that make me question who I am and what my values are, and I love discussing that, you know? Discovery asks some great questions, I think. I hope Stamets doesn't become annoying because of the spore drive. It's changed him in some way mentally. I just hope he stays. I hope he stays as this sarcastic, Starfleet example. I think he is the Starfleet. What's the word I'm looking for? I think he represents Starfleet as it should be, as explorers, not as warriors. And I hope he stays that, and I hope he stays sarcastic. How long do we have to wait to see acting Captain Saru getting his own Starfleet ship to be captain of? AJ Zulu says, okay, time to go. See ya, AJ Zulu. Thank you for coming by, brother. Always fun to have you. I've heard the actor for Saru has gotten a different job, so he may be leaving sometime shortly. But I'm not completely sure when, to be honest with you. But I have heard that he may be going away. So he may get his own command. I wouldn't be surprised by that. What's going on, Mr. Pete8680? Love your vids. Nivcram1, I love you. I don't just love you for loving my vids. I love you personally as just a great person. And that's completely true. It's not because you're a subscriber at all. I love you. I really hate how dark Discovery is. I want to see less shoot, and more talk. Yeah, that's some of the reasons people don't like it. I prefer my fiction right now to be darker. So the fact that it has darker themes, I like. But I know that that's not traditional Trek, so I can understand why people wouldn't like that. With regards to Episode 7, The Time Loop, I suspect that have something to do with the lingering reflection in the mirror. I don't know. I thought about that too. I bet it has more to do with Harry Mudd. I bet Harry Mudd is just messing with them. Because you see him at the end, right? And I think that Harry Mudd is just, just having some fun. 6,275 sub? What? See, when people point out their sub number, I do a dance. This is your dance. That's the dance I gave you. The Admiral Cornwell is totally right about saying Captain Lorca is not fit for command. Absolutely 100% right, and I hate that because I want Lorca to be in command. I don't want him to be this huge evil guy. I hope there's going to be redemption for him. I hope that it's not Lorca is removed and suddenly Saru or Michael become captain, or Tilly. I hope Lorca has redemption. Anyone know how you watch the Orville in Canada? Do we get the Fox's website? Akasaurus, I don't know. I watch Orville through Hulu, so I would suggest going to Hulu if you watch. Definitely pay for it. I will never subscribe to people stealing, just whether I like it or not. Please don't steal it from people. Actually pay for it and watch it, but I would check Hulu. Rough Collie says, it is time for me to depart. Love your channel. Preparing for... No, don't go. You're not allowed to go. If you join and you watch this, you can't go. George Phil McGee. I actually watch Orville. I love Orville. And I have a series, a post show on Mondays where I talk about the latest Orville show. So you should come hang out with me while I discuss what's happened on Orville Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, sometimes 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, but on Mondays is the Orville show. Trek has shown in the past not all its captains are honorable. I agree. Tim Horner, I think every captain in all of the shows have shown that they're willing to give up their morals. Of course, Cisco is the worst, but all of them have done that. And you've even seen captains who have just completely gone to the dark side. I'm not saying that that's not legitimate. I'm saying I like Lorca, and I would like Lorca to stay on the show and not be the bad guy. The only problem I have with Discovery so far is that I don't have any way to watch it. I've only seen the first episode so far. When will it be on net? I don't think it'll ever be on the Netflix in the U.S. Not till long after it's gone off the air, because they want you to buy it on CBS Access. Akasaurus found it on iTunes. Guys, if you're watching this, go to iTunes. But yeah, I like Orville so much I'm boycotting CBS. Well, there you go. Yeah, again, if you're going to watch this stuff, you need to pay for it. I think that it's not just the actors or the executives you're hurting. Everything rolls downhill. If you still and watch Discovery without paying for the service, they're going to take it out of the guy who is doing the lighting, or they're going to take it out of the guy who holds the camera. You're just going to ultimately hurt the little guy. If you're going to watch it, watch it. You know, one of the things I can't stand about the Star Wars community on YouTube, because I do Star Wars, and I have a lot of friends who are Star Wars who run Star Wars channels, but it is rampant with showing people how to steal so that you don't have to have cable to watch like Star Wars Rebels or to watch Star Wars movies. That really annoys me. I cannot stand it. It annoys the living tire out of me. Please just buy it. When is the USS Discovery going to get ship's counselors? I'm sure they have them. They're just not, bringing them up. Unless they're trying to do that old trope where counselors didn't exist at this time. Then they're going to have the cook. They're going to have chef. They're going to have chef. I watch Star Wars, but I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Okay. Are there any alternate timelines shown throughout the Trek series that you dislike? The latter, if did not make sense how it happened because of a single event. Are there any alternate timelines shown throughout the series that I liked? Well, there are alternate timelines that I would love to see explored at some point. I would love to see, I think we discussed this before, I'd love to see the Terran Empire, but as of the Next Generation era or Deep Space Nine era. Not when they were destroyed, but what would have happened if the Terran Empire had continued and hadn't been utterly defeated at Wolf 359. Fun fact, though this is technically not canon resources, the Battle of Wolf 359 in the Mirror Universe was the Terran Empire, whoever they turned into, the Terran Empire turning into the good guys, against the Empire, who it took 3 days, and the Terran Empire was defeated, and then the forces at Wolf 359 went to Earth and destroyed all living sentience on Earth, just completely nuked the living heck out of the planet. Theory: if Lorca is from Mirror Universe, he's pulling people into the Prime Universe like former Commander Laundry based on her behavior. Also, why is he interested in Burnham if she is a mutineer? I don't think he's from the Mirror Universe. I don't think Lorca's from the Mirror Universe. I think that the reason why he helped out the mutineer is because he wants people who will be loyal to him and not loyal to Starfleet. I think Michael Burnham would disobey orders to keep him happy now. And I think that's his entire plan. Could Babylon 5 be considered Star Trek alternate Star Trek universe? I haven't watched a lot of Babylon 5, if I'm being honest. The most I've seen on Babylon 5 would be from a YouTuber called Lore Runner, somebody I deeply, deeply respect. Though when I try to talk to him, he never responds, which I get. And I watch all of his reviews, and I like it based on his reviews. They had Garth go nuts in TOS, but may have Lorca go full PTSD on the Federation. I wouldn't be surprised if Lorca is Garth. If his middle name is Garth, or maybe Gabriel is a middle name, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Does Star Trek Discovery getting a season 2 prove the haters never win in the end? Also, I think Discovery is showing a young Federation, one where they're more harsh and forceful. CBS is keeping everything close to the chest. I don't think it proves anything other than CBS decided to do a season 2. I don't know that I believe the numbers are as good as CBS says they are. Maybe they are, but ultimately haters do as much good as people who love the show. Honestly, I mean, haters are as effective as non-haters. That's why I don't get upset if somebody hates this channel and goes out of their absolute way to put down the channel, or to my cats are about to have a fight, or about to or does videos talking about how I suck. It's free advertising. So what are you guys doing? Hey, I'm live, don't be weird. I'm live, don't be weird. Your cat's on the chair. Yeah, they fight, but right now apparently they want to lick each other, which is odd, but whatever. Hello to my buds. I have 2 kitties. This one, when I record, this one likes to hang out with me. If CBS was getting awesome numbers from Discovery, they would post the numbers to brag. The fact they are not releasing any hard numbers is very telling. I agree, Anti-Tracker. I think that's one of the most telling things. I think the fact that they're not is suspect. Yeah, I mean, technically he is only a year or 2 old. He's still stop biting me. This one's a teenager, and this one's still a kitten. Would Trelane from Toss be a Q? I don't know. I don't know if Trelane from Toss would be a quote-unquote Q. By the way, Anti-Tracker, always fun to have you here, sir. Welcome to the show. What happens to the Andorian ships? I think you guys have brought this up before, and I think we've discussed it. I think the tech, from what I can tell, all of the tech was kept for the ships, and then they just decided to go with Starfleet designs, is the only thing I could explain. I don't necessarily, I don't know why they would do that, but for whatever reason, they decided to keep the United Earth's models when it comes to making the ships. But when it comes to the actual technology, usually you see Vulcan and Andorian and Tellarite technology talked about more, especially in the younger points of the Federation, simply because that was the better technology. So I would be interested to see, what I heard, and I don't know how true this is, but from what I did hear, Enterprise originally was supposed to, they left, sorry, the cats are really, when the Enterprise left Space Dock, it wasn't prepared, it wasn't ready. But after that, they were supposed to always consistently start getting updates. And so it was supposed to go from what you see at the beginning of Season 1 to more looking like the Enterprise A at Season 2. Or, no, at the end of the, not at Season 2, at the end of the run of the show. The ship was supposed to get much more advanced. Yeah, it left Space Dock early and it was supposed to. Yeah, he does that a lot. And he really took, they play fight, as you can tell now, but he really takes care of him. At first, he hated him. He couldn't stand him. But now he fights him every night. It's just what they do. But he really takes care of him. I'd like to see Discovery and its crew destroyed in battle and replaced with all new dynamic crew that has red, yellow alerts, not black UG alerts. Well, that's just racist, sir. That's just racist. I don't think they're going to destroy the Discovery. Yeah, I don't foresee that. When did Starfleet went from phase cannons to lasers? Went from phase cannons to phasers, I think is what you're trying to ask me. I would say at the beginning of, an Anti-Tracker may know this better than I do, but phasers were technology, I believe, common among both the Vulcans and the Andorians. And I would say as soon as the Starfleet as soon as the Federation was formed and Starfleet became the protector of all of them, then they just brought the technologies together. What are you doing, buddy? Have you watched Midnight Edge video on behind-the-scenes troubles of Discovery? I've watched a lot of Midnight Edge's stuff. I don't know if I've seen that one specific, but I do watch a lot of their stuff. Y'all gonna be okay? In the Cage, Starfleet still used lasers. You know, when it comes to the Cage, or early the original season, Anti-Trekker knows a lot more than I do. Trevor Ford, nothing to do with race. I hate the black alerts instead of the standard red. Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. This is joking. This is you and me, buddy. You and me. We're making a connection. We're becoming pals. That was me teasing you. If you want to get technical with the current canon, it is during Discovery, as in the first episode in the Shinzu, they arm the phase cannons, but on Discovery, they have phasers. I think they're just using that word. I think they mean phase cannons, and I think they're just using that word to mean the same thing. I think phase cannons and phasers are the same thing in Discovery. New idea for your future vids. Just film your cats and keep narrating whatever sci-fi war you want. Thousands more. Dude, if I thought I could get away with it, I absolutely would do that. It is so much work. And now I have to do it in a way that Content ID won't get caught, because CBS is absolutely just stupid when it comes to their opinion on fair use. And it adds at least an extra hour to put all the additional stuff I do. Would Borg be able to adapt to... Borg can adapt to everything. Just ask Anti-Trekker. They're magic. I did not know that. They referred to the handheld guns in the Cage as lasers. After the Cage, were they phasers? Yeah, I always notice when Anti-Trekker gets here, I get a dislike. I've started noticing that. Just putting that one out there. Gene Roddenberry called them zap guns. Yeah, I could see him doing that too. Borg can adapt to steel in Star Trek Online. Of course they can't, because that would make the game pretty hard to play. Anti-Trekker, I'm giving you a hard time, buddy. Even if you did, I don't care. See, here's my thing that I was talking about. Regardless of what you do on my channel, if you do it on my channel, it helps my channel. If I have 30 dislikes and 1 uplike, it still helps my channel as if I had 30 likes and 1 dislike. So hey, if you hate me enough that you want to give a comment and and you want to talk about how much I suck, and then you want to give me a thumb down, hey, thanks for watching the show. Thanks for giving me a comment. Thanks for liking it. Google watches all of that. So please, for the love, continue to tell me how much you hate me. Make cheap little outputs. It'd be really unique and awesome. I could put them in like have one in the original series uniform and one like the Next Generation. Captain Jesse 153 watching. What? It's actually gone between 50 and 60. It seems to stabilize between that. I tell you, the Icosaurus, if I had cast, I would. I bet you'd outdo me on YouTube as well. I guarantee you. Do you think the Roddenberry family is proud of Discovery? I don't know the Roddenberry family. If the Roddenberry family holds the exact same opinions as Gene Roddenberry, then they hate Discovery. They couldn't stand it. They probably stopped watching it. Kind of like George Lucas in Star Wars. Because of the Borg episode in Enterprise, could we see them in Discovery? Technically, we could see them in Discovery. I hope we don't. Well, it's 4 a.m. I should sleep. Enjoy tonight's stream. Keep up the great work. Bad Wolf Gamer, I'm here for you. Have a good night, sir. I would sing you to sleep, but don't think I can. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So the Borg are overused. So just as an aside, the Anti-Trekker and I have a great disagreement on the Borg. But the one thing we both agree on is that they are so drastically overused. They need to just stop. Get that Filthy Frank meme out. Stop. Just stop. I'm planning to get back to YouTubing soon. Just trying to narrow down on how I want to do it. Well, that's awesome, Achosaurus. When you're back in, let me know, buddy. Especially if you're doing something Trek. Maybe we can do something together. I definitely watch it. What did the anti-tracker say that someone laughed at? Yep, so Lucas versus Roddenberry. Quick, turn on your laser sword. They have zap guns. I didn't know he called it zap guns. That is funny. In a stupid way. Look forward to normal Klingons. I don't believe... so look forward to normal Klingons coming back. I don't think normal Klingons are coming back. I don't think that's going to occur in the slightest. Should Michael Burnham be martyred at the end of the first season or at the beginning of the second season? Either they need to make it ensemble or she does need to go away. A lot of people hate Michael. I don't hate her. I do look at her as like the Vulcan of the group. So, and I look at her as the next generation Vulcan. Not necessarily the original series Vulcan, not necessarily Deep Space Nine Vulcan, but the next generation Vulcan, which is to say she doesn't have a lot of character to her in a lot of ways, in the way she reacts. So her being there would just be in the background if it was ensemble. So she doesn't bug me all that much. By the way, my response to your Borg something or other. By the way, my response to your Borg versus Dominion video is uploading. I'm sure it is, and I couldn't help but notice that you came specifically on my stream to point that out. Outlander says, "Oh, Outlander. See, when you give money, when you give super chat, you get a dance." And this is my dance for you, because it's £5. I hate you so much, it's 4 a.m. I'm only awake to hate watch you. Well, hey, if you hate watch me, I will hate stream you. I will hate stream the living heck out of you. All I'll ever do is hate stream all over you. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. And you know what? Anyone else who decides to give super chats, I'll hate stream off of you. And I will even hate stream and hate pander to you if you're at patreon.com/lore reloaded and you become a Patreon for others who have not done it. But this is my dance for the super chat. Anytime you super chat, I dance. And thank you so much for it. Again, these videos are brought by supportive viewers like you. Absolutely love that. So, boom. I don't like that bear drive, though. I don't like that bear drive. Oh, the spore drive. Why is the Discovery crew a lot more diverse than even the crews of the Enterprise D, Enterprise E, and USS Titan? Let the hate flow. Let the hate flow through you. And Laura, you mind a random question? Paul, I'm here for questions. I'm here for you. As I said, I'm hate streaming for you. Why is the Discovery crew a lot more diverse? So this is something that the Anti-Tracker and I disagree on, but I would say that Discovery is more consistent in the way the Federation and Starfleet should be than the others. I think that the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. Enterprise had a good reason, but those three series, we have mainly human because of budget and because of limitations. I don't think that Starfleet is mostly or mainly human. I think that it would be as diverse as you see on Discovery, and I think Discovery actually gets that part right. Now, Anti-Tracker disagrees with me, and Sunday, if you remember, I'd be happy to let you give your opinion on it, but I do think that that part has gotten right. I think when you walk on a Starfleet vessel, you would not see mainly humans. Actually, DS9 was mostly alien. Okay, fair enough, Anti-Tracker. Let me rephrase. Humanoid, looking like a human. But you're fair enough. DS9 did have other aliens, more aliens than the Next Generation and Voyager. Why was the old series mostly a human crew? Because of everything I just said. Can you do your best data and lore in person? I can't know. I could try. No, I can't even do it. I don't do impressions well at all. I mean, Data would be like, because he doesn't do contractions or anything. So he'd be like, "Sir, I cannot see why you would want us to go into the." Let's see, what would he say? "Sir, I cannot see why you would want us to go into the nebula." And then Laura would be like, "Do you want to kill people? Let's kill people." Those are my impersonations. That's what I can do. You want more impersonations? You gotta give me a super chat. because I'm not going to do them unless you do it. Paul asked me a question I missed. Okay, Star Wars. 2 black men in the movies. Where are the women? Has a family or backstory ever been given? Okay, Star Wars. 2 black men in the movies. Where are the women? Has a family backstory ever been given? I don't know what you're referring to. So you have to give me more information, Paul, before I can talk to that. Oh, Brent is a voice acting master? I am not. What would the Blob from Orville do in Star Trek Discovery? What possible role could they give him? He would probably try to sleep with Michael, if I had to guess. That was a spot-on Spiner. It was not a spot-on Spiner. They'd shove the Blob into the spore. I bet they would. Oh man, it'd be funny to see him there. Lando and the new guy in the movies, but no families. Lando and the new guys. So you're talking about Finn and you're talking about Lando. But they don't have any families. I'm still not. So they have 2 black people with no families. There are a ton of white people with no families in the Star Wars universe too that we see. I guess. I'm sorry. I'm just not understanding specifically what you're asking me. I'm glad they got rid of Ripper. That situation was getting pretty awkward. That situation was dull. I never felt bad for Ripper. I didn't care what happened to Ripper. It just seems odd that they never had families, just the 2 guys. Finn, in theory, was taken away from his family. So it'd be interesting to see a backstory there. So the fact that they had the 2 black guys didn't have families, I suppose. I never really thought about that, if I'll be honest with you. I would be interested to see an expansion if they wanted to have African-American people. I think it would be interesting. Do you know much about Warhammer 40k? If so, do you think the Federation would something or other? Do you think the Federation could restore the ecological damage caused by Forge Worlds? With the Genesis, they might be able to. I don't think the Federation could exist in the Warhammer universe. I think they would be destroyed. Absolutely. Just be annihilated. I don't think they'd be able to hold their own. There would be no way. The Federation would become the Imperium of Man quite quickly, or they would be decimated. Absolutely, positively decimated. Yeah, I don't think I never really thought about who does and doesn't have families. A lot of the extended universe Legends now. It's not Legends. They did have families in Legends, and the expanded universe does have a lot of families and stuff. I know that in the tertiary, like Star Wars Rebels, they have families and things. Okay, so then yes, at least one of them has a backstory, but Lando, I mean, no father-son link. I'd have made sense the fact that everyone else's kid is there. Lando's expanded universe is pretty well documented. Mason Herman, see you. Thank you for coming. Always appreciated. Lando has a backstory, but it's not in the movies. The one thing I like about Star Wars, and I think it does so much better than Trek, is that almost everything has a backstory. The stories for Star Wars are so vast and so expansive. The lore is so rich that Lando has a backstory, though you don't see it in the movies. All of them have backstories. There's even so in the cantina scene in the original Star Wars, they're an Ithorian, but he basically is the alien that looked like a shark head and had 2 eyes on the opposite side. Even he has a backstory that you can look at. Tarkin does have an extended family. Tarkin's backstory is actually very interesting. At least the expanded universe, the Legends is. A Starfleet Space Teddy would be cool. The perfect Space Teddy would be Lena Dunham. I'm sorry that I read that. Outlander. They have some things that would be useful. Replicators, Ascend War Speed would be one hell of an... Well, yeah. Replicators and Warp Speed, but I just think they're too naive in the Warhammer 40k. I think the Federation's too naive, and it has too many goals. I think it'd be like when the Terran Empire became the Federation and got stopped. I think that's exactly what would happen. There's YouTube channel just on Warhammer history and backstories. I had to stop watching because it's such a depressing universe. Everything sucks. Great channel, one mind, though. Good research. I'll have to take a look at it. I'm always interested to watch other lore channels to see what they do and how they go about it. There's actually a lore channel that does Fallout only. And one of my subscribers, well, a couple of subscribers actually, thought that I was that guy. And went to his channel and said that he's me. So apparently we have the same voice. I don't hear it, but a lot of people think we are. No, I listened to the Tarkin canon novel. He has a mom, dad, uncle, cousins. If you're talking about the one where him and Darth Vader go on the epic quest, I forget. I think it's called Tarkin, maybe. If you're talking about that one, I've seen it. Look at that. He just sleeps. That's all he does. Paul Lapella, my channel is just on me being boring and some DS3. Sir, don't ever discount yourself. It still amazes me people watch this channel. So don't ever think that you don't have what it takes to get through. I bet your channel rocks. Why is Disco Food and Clothing Synthesizer is way too close to TNG, DS9, and Voy replicators? Trekker can talk about this more than, because he gets upset about it. It doesn't bug me all that much. Actually, 45 watching Captain Jesse 1. Get it right, sir or ma'am. But yeah, a lot of people have gotten upset about it. A lot of people defend it. I don't get upset about the replicators all that much. Mr. Bidwell, can't wait to see if Ahsoka lives. She does live. She absolutely does live. So there's no way. If you're telling me that Ahsoka dies, it makes absolutely no sense. First off, I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed that she lives. And beyond that, if she didn't live, then what you're telling me is that the exact same, where were they? Sith temple, the exact same Togruta, which is what she is, a Togruta, the exact same Togruta, with the exact same weapons, walking in the exact same way, at the exact same point, walked out of that Sith temple, and Ahsoka died. So there were two of them, looked exactly the same. She lived. There's nothing to that. Lately, my channel has just been an occasional update video on the game I'm developing. The Jogman, what kind of game you making, buddy? Why are you holding out on us? Tell me what kind of game, so that I can tell the 43 people currently watching me about your game. Even in Star Trek Enterprise, the replicators cannot synthesize clothing. That is... Oh, Enterprise, possibly. The Next Generation, they definitely could. What are your expectations for Thrawn and Season 4? Sweet, I got the notification. What are your expectations for Thrawn in Season 4? I like Rebels. I don't like what Rebels do with the villains. They make Darth Vader, they make Tarkin... they make Thrawn look like villains of the week. Even in their triumphs, they have defeats. And so I don't like that about Rebels. I think Thrawn is probably... Because they got to set it up for New Hope, right? And so I think Thrawn is probably going to beat the hell out of them. And if they kill off the two Jedi, they kill off Ezra and Kanan, which I hope they don't. But if they kill off Ezra and Kanan, it's going to be at the hands of Thrawn. Almost either Thrawn or Darth Vader. Mr. Bidwell, you're wrong. I love the Ahsoka novel. I guess I'm the only one. I thought the Ahsoka novel was excellent. I loved it. Of course, I have to say this. Ahsoka is my favorite character in Star Wars. So when the voice actor, I listened to it on Audible with the voice actor. So I may be a little bit biased. The Jogman, it's the Jogman. All right, everybody, we're about to talk about this epic game made by the Jogman. It's based on Minecraft custom map by R3DS Kingdom, a friend of mine. The Exodus Season 2 map, easily his most popular map, considering that the Yogs cast played it. There you go. There you go. And replicators were pretty much complete when the holodecks got perfected, I think. Those technologies while similar, I don't think have to go together. So one might have precipitated the other. Even Ashley Eckstein's lovely voice couldn't save the Ahsoka. Blasted Heath, you're wrong. Absolutely wrong. I don't care. I've lost a couple of people watching this because I said I like the Ahsoka novel. You're wrong. I'll go to 0 if I have to. Ahsoka novel was good. Me and my dad were working on a novel idea for Star Trek involving a Klingon Vulcan woman named Loris and a ship called the USS Shenandoah. Shenandoah has actually already been a ship, so that'd be confusing. But Discovery made us shelve it for now. I would think... I mean, why not make it, though? I guess that could be interesting. A Klingon Vulcan woman. Man, that's talking about a bad day between two different cultures. Of course, now with Discovery, they must look awesome. I mean, you know, they're basically buddies. What is Ahsoka? Ahsoka is from Star Wars. She's one of the most excellent. I hated her when she was first introduced into the Star Wars Clone Wars series. I absolutely love her. If you watch Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, you'll see her. I think just an excellent character from start to finish. Well, no, not from start. She sucked from start. She sucked the first season or so, but after that, she rocked. I liked her after that. The holodecks in Discovery might only be holograms without force fields. Okay. Might only be holograms without force fields. If they can do holograms... I don't like the holodeck. It's definitely not... continuity-wise, it makes absolutely no sense. I do see the logic and the argument that if they can do holograms the way they can on the bridge, why couldn't they do a holodeck? I think they are technically different technologies. It would be like a motorcycle and a car are similar, but they are made different. But you know, I can see it. The holodeck should have never been there. Lore, I don't hate Snips. I hate that she's called Snips. I can't stand that. Lore, I don't hate Snips, but Anakin should have never had a Padawan. I think what Yoda was trying to do makes sense. It seems like a very Yoda move, and I think his failure with her helped him go to the dark side. If you don't think he should have ever had a Padawan, period, then I get that. But him failing at having a Padawan only further shows his drop, I think. Any chance of doing a series of video talking about the event taking place after the events of Star Trek Nemesis? Yes, there is a chance. I will in fact put that in the hopper for you. If you could, after this video goes live, after the streaming, if you can comment that, I'll put it in the hopper, and at one day it'll be done. Rough Collies Rock, I appreciate you staying up, brother or sister. I really do appreciate that. This will be my last comment for tonight. The ending of Season 5 in Clone Wars was the perfect ending for that series. Love your channel, man. I can't wait for more discussions. Hey, I'm here for you. Go get some sleep. Go get and enjoy your sleep. Well, the mapping through like the cartography is there, and I was answering questions, someone asking about when they could replicate clothing, or at least I tried. Sure. I'm sorry if I missed that conversation before. I wasn't trying to put you down or anything. I was just giving my opinion. I see Enterprise E being at first contact, changing the Prime Star Trek canon timeline to the point of Discovery frack-up, I guess. Star Trek Online is not considered canon. Most all of it is not considered canon. CBS and Paramount at first were very supportive, but now do not consider it canon at all. 14K, hope not. Oh, you're answering that. In Star Trek Online, the Terran Empire returns by the 25th century after the Terran Rebellion succeeded and tried on several occasions to invade the Prime Universe. Thoughts on their return? I actually played those quests and the multiplayer for it. I liked it, honestly. That's why I wish DS9 hadn't messed things up. I would have loved seeing the Terran Empire at full strength. I think that it's an interesting idea, and I like exploring the Terran Empire. I've even been thinking about trying to put a Terran Empire versus Federation together. But again, it'd be difficult with DS9 because DS9 basically destroyed what the Terran Empire could be. How much money is CBS and Paramount making off license fees for Star Trek Online? I don't know, but I can tell you they've made over $500 off of my channel alone. Yeah, so a lot of the early stuff, a lot of the, before I started doing it in the recent way I've done it, all of that money goes to CBS, and I calculated it, and they've made well in excess, probably into the 4 digits off of my hard work. So this one's for you, CBS. Lore is the Mirror Dominion peaceful. You know, it'd be interesting if the Mirror Dominion was the Federation and the Terran Empire was the Dominion. That would be an interesting episode to watch. Blame the fall of the Terran Empire on Kirk. So, yes, but unlike what they did in Deep Space Nine, the Terran Empire still existed and hadn't been completely destroyed. Interesting theory, the mirror preservers are in fact the Borg. That'd be funny. Actually, I'm going to play Star Wars The Old Republic. I play that too. You should play as well. I wish that Star Trek Online could take their space combat system, give it to Star Wars, and Star Wars could take their ground quests and the way they do ground and give it to Star Trek Online. I think they both do the opposite well. Oh yeah, Mirror Darkly, Into a Mirror Darkly or In a Mirror Darkly was excellent. It's the best Enterprise episodes in my opinion. Mirror Chuck Norris still kicks your rear. So Mirror Chuck Norris, it'd be funny if he was like Barney, like that universe is Barney. So instead of, saying, "Hey, my kid's watching Barney the dinosaur," it's watching Chuck Norris. How about if the Terran Empire was made up as totally augment clones, robots, androids, and replicants? So Captain Jesse 1, we are at the 1 minute 36 mark, 1 hour 36 mark. Jesse is still talking about how awesome Blade Runner is. So, yeah. Enterprise 2-parter for the Mirror Universe, best ever. I agree. Actually, Mirror Chuck Norris punches you and cures your cancer. Doesn't actual Chuck Norris punch you and cure your cancer too? See Yoshi 15 in the house saying glory to the Terran Empire. Do you think we'll get an Enterprise movie? If so, how do you think they would deal with Trip? I don't think. One second. All those actors are gone, so I don't think we're going to get a Enterprise. And the way they deal with Trip is just to have it before those events occurred. But no, they're not going to have it. Just like they're not going to have a Deep Space Nine. Star Trek Discovery #1 in digital original series and overall in demand show in the U.S. Where are all of the haters? From Don Juan. I don't know about all that, Don Juan. You got Stranger Things and you got all kinds of digital original series. I'd be very surprised if it's #1 in anything. I mean, I'm sure CBS says that it's #1. It might be #1 on CBS, but I don't think it's the #1 overall. I'd be very surprised by that. But let's say that it was. Let's say it's #1 original digital. That no way invalidates any of the haters' responses. And vice versa. Even if it was the worst rated show on planet Earth, that doesn't make the haters right. So it being #1 digitally doesn't make the haters wrong, nor does it being #1 as the most hated show of all make the haters right. What is my cat tracking? T'Pol and Discovery, possible in your opinion? T'Pol? Yeah, I mean, it's possible to see T'Pol. It'd be a younger version, wouldn't be the same actor. The Klingons, Borg, and Dominion send Chuck Norris Christmas cards addressed Dear Sir. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I made an Andorian after T'Pol from the series. Very cool. I can't post links here, just Google it. Plenty of proof for it. Don Juan, you should be able to post links. I'm surprised you can't do that. But even if you couldn't, I completely believe that CBS is reporting that it is the #1 most watched original series. I believe that CBS is saying that. So, Right there with you on that. Yeah. Sure. Let me look it up. Discovery, #1 digital. If I can spell digital. #1 digital. Online watched. Star Trek Discovery from CBS. Nope. 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 Let me put it in what you said exactly and see, because I'm not pulling up anything near what you just said, Don Juan. I will do a cut and paste exactly and see. Star Trek Discovery is #1 original series and overall in demand from Reddit. Well, if Reddit says that it's the #1 in demand, then who am I to... I mean, this is Reddit, people. This is Reddit. Where are they getting this from? Oh, and Reddit is getting it from parrotanalytics.com. Yeah, I don't know that I believe that. I don't know if I believe that at all. I'm not saying that Discovery is doing well, is not doing well. What is Reddit? I'm not saying that it's not doing well. I'm surprised, but if it's doing well, that's great. I don't know that I believe all that. Just like when people say it's tanking, I don't think I believe that either. So, going to quote poll/poll next. Anti-Trekker brings up a great point. CBS All Access has an estimated 2 to 4 million subs compared to 52 million from Netflix. That alone kind of disproves that. I'd be very surprised if Stranger Things is doing less than Discovery. What is Michael Sue Burnham's midi-chlorian count? I don't know. But it has to be high. Has to be absolutely high. I mean, again, Don Juan, I'm not... If it's doing very well, which is, I guess it has a season 2, so it must be doing somewhat well, then, yeah, there's no reason not to celebrate that. I just don't believe that claim. Every country except the United States gets Discovery on their Netflix. Yeah, I hate that. I wish we got it on Netflix. The only reason I pay CBS Access is for... So I guess they're kind of working, because as soon as... the minute, Discovery goes on hiatus, I'm canceling for the couple of months that I won't have it. Who is your favorite Discovery Bridge crew that so far is feeling left behind, little or no story development? I like Lorca, though he has a lot of story development. I would have loved to seen more of the security chief before she was killed. I actually like Ash Tyler. Saru doesn't suck. Stamets is my absolute favorite, though. In Canada, we get it on Space for free. Well, that's cool. We don't get it on Netflix in Canada. If you're getting it for free and you're supposed to be getting it for free, that's cool. But I'll tell you what I said beforehand. Please don't steal. I'm not saying you are 14K Liam. But if anyone's watching, please don't steal. It's just, you're not hurting the execs, you're not even hurting the actors, but you're hurting the other people, in my opinion. What about the lieutenant, junior grade, and lower? I really like Tilly. I do. I think that I hope they develop her, and I think to see her go from cadet to captain or maybe to a lieutenant or something would be very intriguing. Space's TV channel. Yeah, I know. I wasn't saying that you were 14K Liam. I even pointed that out. But that was just my own personal soapbox. People who are pirating the show should be charged for intellectual theft. That's not how intellectual theft works, my friend. They should be charged for piracy and theft, but not intellectual theft, since they're not stealing intellectual property. Yeah, I'll stick to episodes of DS9 and Voyager on Fios. Word up in the house. All right, guys, we're going to be ending this pretty shortly, so any last questions before I get off? I am going to have to work on my video tomorrow. I was going to try to work on it tonight, but you people have engaged me for so long that that I decided to stay put and to just hang out with you lovely people, which is why I'm here. I'm here to have a dialogue, a discussion, not to do videos all my life. Would you like to see more new intelligent species other than that are not just humanoids in Star Trek? Maybe Discover? Sure. I'd love to see them push the bounds in every way. I'd be interested to see aliens that are truly alien. And that's hard to do because you're trying to speak to an audience that's human, and obviously you need them to connect with a human. But I would love to see aliens that are truly alien to us, you know? Why did Lego Ninjago fail? I never watched it, and I don't intend to do a video on it, which is why it failed. Mr. Pete 8630. Daniel Bertazon? What? I've been here for an hour 30 waiting on you, Daniel Bertazon. Where have you been? You failed me, sir. You failed me. Well, so let me ask you this before we go. Let me ask you this. Everybody be completely honest. I would absolutely love... So I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I would love to do a stream that is dedicated to Star Wars. I would love to do a post-Star Wars show on Rebels and talk everything Rebels. Well, Daniel Bertazone says I was in the shower. You should have told me so that I could have waited, or you should have took your computer in there and watched from there. If I did a post show on Star Wars where we just talked about Star Wars, would you guys be showing up? Or would you not? Now, I still may do it if you guys don't show up, but you know, the channel is a discussion. So if I just do what I want to, if I just do things other people won't like, then no one shows up, then I'm not having a discussion. We will. Me will. Mr. Pete 8630. I would be there for Star Wars with Rebels last season, Episode 8 coming up. I will. Discovery Fillmore Solos. Yeah, why not? Paul Lepla says. Only for Episodes 4, 5, and 6. Terror of Death says yes. Do you think Discovery will explain the holocommunicator and holodeck uncontinuity? I don't, Billy GMO 2. I don't. Trek is my mind, but Wars is my heart. Trek in the streets, Wars in the sheets. Yeah. All right, guys. So at this point, I guess I'm going to be talking about, well, Outlander, you should come hang out. If you like it, you can just hang out with me, learn more about Star Wars. Either way, guys, if you like what you see, you should consider becoming a supporter of the channel. It's just like Twitch, but more awesome. If I get 2 supporters, I'll actually make some emojis that you guys can use. Of course, you can always join me on patreon.com/lore reloaded. It's just a way to support the channel. If you like the weekly content, the fact that you get 1 video a day, Monday through Friday, consider supporting the channel. If you can't or don't want to do that, that's fine. The stuff is absolutely free. Definitely just come, hang out, talk, watch all of it that you can, and just enjoy. You're not going to lose anything if you're not a patron, so you don't have to worry about that. But the most important thing that you do is you should comment, you should rate, and you should subscribe. And you definitely should be here next time when we show up for, wait for it, The Lore Reloaded. Now, as you guys know, this stupid system likes to cut me off halfway through my conversation. So now that I said Lore Reloaded, I'm going to sit here and talk like an idiot and seem very, very stupid to you guys because I'm waiting for it to say The Lore Reloaded on the stream, and then I'm going to hit this and it's going to cut me off. And so it's just, I'm going to look like a freaking idiot and like a jerk. What was his name? Seppi, Ralph Seppi says I'm gonna look like an asshole.